Okay, so this is another edge cut machine. This one actually allows us to be able to do car keys as well. The anatomy of it is pretty much the same as the other machine that I showed you. But this one, slightly different, and I'll show you where. Besides the look of it, it pretty much functions very similarly to the other machine. So this is, right here, is the carriage portion. This is the lever that allows you to move the carriage back and forth. This is also considered a semi-automatic. And what I mean by that is there's tension in this. So when you release it, it just goes, if you notice, it goes towards that way. And what that allows is that it puts enough pressure on the carriage that it allows you to just literally move this back and forth. My hand doesn't even have to be here putting pressure that way for the key to cut. So that's semi-automatic. So we have the left side vice grip, right side as well. We have our tracer. This goes on the key that you're cutting, or the customer's key. You have your key cutting wheel right here. You have your deburring wheel right here. This is the power, and I believe this is, yeah, if you want to deburr, so it just turns it on temporarily. You have a little light up here that, you know, helps if you need to cut the key, you need more light. This is where all the deburred material goes. Well, actually not deburred, but the cut material goes right there. So it's pretty much the same. Now, the only difference here is you'll notice that there's like a letter here, A, D, B, and C. If you'll notice, what it allows is it has different grooves right here that allow you to hold different types of keys. So, you know, let's say with car keys, the grooves tend to be a little different, and sometimes you don't have enough space, you don't have enough depth in here to put the key in far enough for this to hold. And so this allows you to hold different types of keys. Most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, we just use one side. It's the flat side, and that works out fine. But there's going to be some instances where you need another side of the vice grips. So let me just give you an idea of how this works. So let's say you want to adjust this. A customer key is not fitting properly when you put this thing in. And so what you want to do, and I'm going to try to do this while holding this camera, is you release this. Okay, this is going to be a little challenging, but let's see. I'm going to try to put it down. Okay, this should work. So you loosen this, and you see how this goes up. This allows you now to rotate this thing. You have to make sure that you do it, if you move this from, let's say, A to D, you have to make sure you do the same exact thing on the right side as well. If not, it could mess up your cut. Now, another thing about this machine is that there is a tip stop. You'll see right here, a tip stop that works just the same as the other key machine. Oh, I'm sorry, a shoulder stop. This is called a shoulder stop. This is called a tip stop. And so, just as the name implies, it stops the key at the same exact distance on both sides. So you'll notice that it just stays in right there, or, you know, I think it also works going this way too. But you want that in there. You insert the key right there. It'll stop at the tip of it so that you can make sure this side and this side cut exactly the same. And then one final thing, and I'll show you how you use that in a little bit as well in another video. But this, if you have a small key, and when you put the key here and the grooves don't show, or the teeth or the ridges are too shallow, so this tracer can't get to it, you'll need this to be placed in here so that the key can stick out more on both sides, which will allow you to be able to cut it on this wheel. That's why there's two of them. This is a little thicker, this one's a little thinner if you don't need it protruding out so much. So that's it. That's the other edge cut machine that we have. This does not do laser cut keys. This is simply an edge cut machine that works for car keys as well. It's a great machine. We've been using it for the past year and a half. So aside from that, we'll go into more of the techniques to cut keys.